We are live. Let's go. What is up, everybody? We are live. We got a trade on. Waiting for everybody to come in here. I can't wait to talk about my trade with everybody. So I'm long in queue, baby. This market is strong as strong as it can be. We keep running for all-time highs. I've just kind of decided that I'm not gonna fight this market right now. We sold quite a bit in the after hours on metals, so I decided that we had a beautiful a call out for an L3 long on the Camarilla pivot plays indicator. Hey, Elias. Hey, Steve. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Jason. So I went ahead and got long. I didn't get long at the beginning because I didn't like the volume. We were selling too much at the beginning. So, and then we rallied and started selling again. But this time we really pushed down a lot and sold quite a bit. And then when we came back down here, I noticed some deviation and I went long when we made this isolated pivot. My long entry was a little late because I waited to see if this candle looked like it was going to close at the 9 and 20. I went ahead and hit it long and threw my stop below the low, which was about $1,000 risk. So I haven't moved the stop yet, Elias, just because I wanted you to see where my stop was before I moved it. So now that we've broken through the CP, we should not come back in the range and sell all the way back down through the open price. So I'm definitely feeling really comfortable with going ahead and bringing this up a bit and at least making sure that I'm going to lock in at least a few $100s today, to make sure it's a good day overall. My target on this is going to be a transitionary movement to H3. So, and that's what we're doing. We're all-time high, baby. Let's go. Right. So I'm really stoked about this trade. The cams have been very good this week. Yesterday and the day before, actually for the past week and a half, there have been multiple NQ plays that have called and worked. There's been a lot of metals plays that have been calling and working. So nice, Steve from the garden. That's exciting. Thank you for everybody who's coming in and joining the channel. Got a nice, lovely live trade going for you on NQ. Now, you want to know, so from most channels you go to, what's really fun is even my good trades are boring, right? Because guess what I'm going to do now? I'm just going to sit here now and do nothing, right? We're going to hang out for a little bit. We're going to see if this goes. If this sells back down through the CP, I'm going to cut this trade and we'll make some money. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave this thing on and see if this can get up to my target, right? For me, because especially we've now managed to buy high of day. We've made a new high of day after 10:30. So we have the IB stat in our favor now. Hey, Thor, here from BBT only was there because of you. Thank you, SD. I love you. Is that okay for me to say? I really know. Thank you so much for coming and supporting. And I hope you continue to come with and hang out with me and do that. I really appreciate you. GP in the house, dude. GP, I'm long, Bubba. Congratulations. I shared a trade on my X account and my Instagram today. One of our guys, GP, GP just said hi, good morning. Just said, hey, Thor. A GP trader is one of our market alchemists that trades with us every morning and hangs out in the market alchemist area. This dude he's a gangster. He's a really regimented trader. He's got his system put together. He's not winning all of his trades, but his losers are insanely well managed, and he does great with his winners, man. He really has really good position management. So this guy's an up and coming guy. I might even ask him to do a little stuff, and I was thinking about asking him and maybe even start like having him kind of do a little stuff in Alchemist, you know, because I see some of the ways he does some position management. I think I'd like to have him talk about some of that with some of the people in Alchemist if he's interested, or maybe we could have him here on the YouTube channel on a day, and we could all talk right out here on YouTube, and I could introduce y'all all to him, and you could hear a little bit about his style. He's a really good guy. He's a beautiful example of how you become a day trader. Like, he's a humble dude. He's a respectful dude. He's very active in the Market Alchemist area. He's got the right, like, he's got the right shit, man. Stuff. He's got the right stuff, man. I mean, just anyway. Well done, buddy. Well done. I took MAS also on my small account along the same line as small challenge, but nowhere as effective. Hey, Steve from the Garden, though, dude, like, proud of you, man. Do it. Good for you. Oh, good to see you. Good morning. So yeah, Glenn, I can talk about it. So, when you're looking at the buying and selling detector, right? So I went through my trades for the last month, and one of the things that I noticed is that all of my losing trades that didn't work were all trades that were not in alignment with the buying and selling detector. I am now humbly having to realize that there is a chance that my creation is better at reading volume than I am. Oh no. You know, like I do believe, out of all the things that I've created, I do believe that the buying and selling detector is actually going to be my top thing, because it's a true invention. It's something that I actually thought up and then helped, Bruz code. Well, I mean, I didn't help him code. He coded it, but I told him what to code. Um, and it's just like it's just amazing. So, but I noticed, like, I really wasn't in a line. So the user line, or the rolling line, right, is our average volume, and it's our weighed volume, right? So the buying and selling detector is an insanely unique tool. It's not like RSI or any of that kind of stuff. This is volume weighted tick. So I'm actually looking at the candle patterning and how fast we move up and how fast we move down, scoring those with a certain weighted value, right? And then assigning this as whether or not we are buying or selling, right? So you don't have to look at the volume as much anymore, right? Because you can just look here and tell, right? So at the open, I didn't go long on this initial rally, and look how good of a decision that was. It ended up coming all the way back to the low. That would have been, and I would have had to take a really wide position to get into this one, but actually a similar width position, but I wouldn't have felt nearly as confident because I hadn't had a chance to watch it almost bought once and twice and then ISO pivot, right? So, but the first time it pushed up, notice we were selling too much, selling. It didn't go into buying until we were right here, and that's way too far away, way too close to the CP. But then we sold heavily, and when we sold heavily, look, we really pushed down into the heavy selling area, which is where we look for reversals, right? Once we're exhausting into the heavy selling area. So then we pulled back up, and look, as we tried to sell lower again, we deviated and the volume stayed higher. So that's what I really liked about it. So I went long. Oh, here we go, baby. Let's see if this happens. Fingers crossed, everybody. Okay. So if we reject here and come back through the CP, I'm taking my money. We should not need to come all the way back through the CP. I'll give it a little space, but we're gonna score on this one. Yeah, let's go, Cams, baby. Back to all-time highs. Let's go, right? So I've had a great week. It was a little slow for a couple of weeks, but this week I've had 4 or 5 just really just banger trades. Hey, Rebecca, good to see you. Bats Wayne in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you, JC. Let's see. I mean, either way, we're making money on this thing, so I'm happy. And I risked about $1,000 on this one. So not too bad. If this would have been I mean, it's an L3 buy, so it's a solid. It's actually not our highest performing play either. So the L3 buy actually hasn't been, but I think this play, for the record, this play is going to become very much more popular. So what happens with the cam plays, and because we're now tracking our data back through time. So since we brought the CPP online in November, we have tracked every single call on every single ticker that we're watching. And then we're analyzing those and constantly tweaking and making sure we've got the best calculation, that we've got the best ideas, and that we know statistically which cams are hitting, because the cams are actually seasonal, right? We have some cams, like lately, the breakout plays have been working the best because we've been in a rally for like 2 weeks. So all you had to do is buy H4 breakouts every day on NQ and you would have made money. And we called 5 or 6 H4 breakouts on NQ. Right. So now, because I think we're going to start a little bit of a different cycle. Now we're buying that value area, but I think the L3 buys are going to become more prevalent. Oh, Corey, did you have to turn on all your monitors? We are buying right now, baby. Like, look, right now we are, and so the buying and selling detector also helps you, because you might get scared, right? Because it's getting high, it's near all-time high. But right now the buying and selling detector would insinuate we just have nice, steady buying. So there's no reason right now for me to think that we're going to have a reversal. Not that we can't. I just have no evidence of that. Even right here, we had a down ticking candle, but it really didn't close very deep, right? Yeah, of course. Let me show you BSD, and then I'll take a look at CRWV for you. There you go. Don't forget that this is recorded. Obviously, it's YouTube. So if you need it in the future, just make sure you save this episode, because you can always come back. I don't change these settings like this. I've been using the same settings for quite a while. They're pretty darn well dialed in. So I'm very happy. Y'all so I'll have to tell you the weird story about how I created this buying and selling detector sometime. I mean, a lot of the people who were with me before, they know this story. But look at this. We're just trending right now, right up the 9. Like, I'm not even going to get worried about this thing until we start to have like a moving average cross or something. So yeah, on the buying and selling detector, let me make this a little bigger. So what this does is this autographs the peaks and valleys, right? So this area, and I think, oh, there was some selling. Look at that. So I think we're going to try and code in some coloring soon with some words or something to kind of make it a little easier to see. So basically, the 0 line is the tipping point between buying and selling. right? It's our look at that. We just went to all-time high and then came off of it. Jesus, right? Yikes. That's fun. I still think we're gonna go take it. So I'm in. Why not? New high. I mean, all-time high. When have we not done all-time high? I mean, let's see what happens though. Right? So this zero line is the tipping point between buying and selling. Right? Above the zero line, right, is buying, below the zero line is selling. Anything above the zero line is buying. Anything below the zero line is selling. As you increase your distance, you intensify the amount of tick in that direction, weighted, right? So if you're inside the gray area, this is what I would consider to be light buying or light selling, right? So when you're in this area right here, you can see how we dropped back. We offered some light selling, and then we started lightly buying and then buying. Anything above that 10 line there, right? Anything above the gray box is what I would consider to be healthy or steady volume, right? So we're buying and it's healthy buying. Like this is exactly the kind of volume I would expect during a transitionary movement, right? As we're lightning bolt pattern, as we're just chewing up the MAs, right? Or the EMAs, this is the kind of volume I expect for advancement, right? So this is very healthy. I'm not worried right now at all about being long in this position. Not that I would be generally anyway, but I mean, I'm going to make money no matter what, right? So once we get above 30, in this instance, what is 37? Because this changes for everything because it weighs it and it finds it. Once we get up into there, this is what I consider to be the heavy buying. Heavy buying is when we create most of our pullbacks will come off of once we've moved. Hey, Adam, once we've moved all-time high, let's go. This moves us into heavy buying. Heavy buying does exhaust for a short term our buyers. I don't expect massive reversals off of heavy buying, but if we get heavy buying, I'm not going to be surprised if there's a fairly exaggerated pullback, right? So now if we get above what is now on NQ, this 58 region, 58.50, then at this point, right, we will have I will start looking for exhaustion, right? So at this point, once we've put up this much uptick, I do not expect us to be able to continue going up much further, at least for quite a while, right? So when I'm looking for really exaggerated reversals, that's what I'm looking for. So now if you look here, we started off with selling. So I didn't go long at the beginning because we were selling too much as we started to go long. It wasn't strong enough, right? We then finally lightly bought and then pushed up, but then we sold back down. And when we sold down, look, we went all the way to that heavy selling area, right? And that's what I'm looking for to start looking for reversal opportunities, right? Now, I'm not expecting them to be huge ones, but this is a range run, right? So we're just running value right now. So this is good enough. We push here and then notice as we come back down, right? Our volume goes up, but we can't push as much selling as we could when we came down before. That's why when we made the isolated pivot there, I went long at the isolated pivot, and that happened to be the exact moment we also started buying. Pow. Right? So then we offer down, but just light selling, we kind of consolidate for a bit, and then boom, we start buying. And now we're buying steadily, right? So the buying and selling detector can really help you. And speaking of really helping you, 132 people and only 65 likes. Come on, people, help a brother out. I'm in a beautiful trade for you. I'm explaining awesome indicators for you. I think you're amazing, right? Why didn't you take the, so I didn't take this one because we hadn't crossed any of the moving averages yet. We were still too weak in the price action. But once we got up here and we had managed to close some candles above, I started to feel better about this being a long. So once it offered and I got to see 1, 2, 3, so basically a triple bottom. And we couldn't, and that also, and I'm holding now because we also have an IB advantage now. It's hard to find when you're using your phone. We'll stop driving 1960 and pull over. I'm just kidding. Come on, smash that like button. So I appreciate it. No. So I hold for ATR high when I trade narrow ranges. In this instance, the play is technically an S3 to I mean, it could go there, but I'm going to be happy. If I get this S3 to R3, or sorry, S3 to H3, I'm going to be super stoked about this move. It's going to be about 4R. I didn't like it earlier here because we still were, we had lost all of our averages and we had a red cross. And so this price action is too weak for me. I wanted to see some strength in the ticker first, but once I saw that it had double bottomed, right? It couldn't take that low and make a lower low. I really liked that. So, and then we came up, but I wasn't ready to get in here yet because we were too high and we were still under our averages. But then we closed our averages a few times and it really showed me that this thing had some desire. And then as we pushed down here, this movement down was so weak. That's what really I loved. It's this deviation here. As we pulled back to the low, the total, look at the volume down here in the volume section. Look how low that volume is as we tried to push towards there. There was zero interest in going down to this bid. So that was enough for me. As soon as I saw this isolated pivot hit with volume, I got in. So, and I got in about 30 seconds into this candle, right? So I saw the volume come in. I saw it setting this pivot. It looked like it was about to close as an engulfing. It was good. So I went long there, stopped below low of day. So now we just hold. Either way, we make like $1,500 or something, which by any measure, $1,500 a day is amazing, right? So, but I mean, this might be 3,500, close to $4,000. You know, I had a really nice, a really nice trade recently. As you know, as we're getting in this, and I mean, we're making it work. Oh, here we go. Come on. Yeah, gladly. I found this one, which is, it's just available through TradingView. So it doesn't need a subscription, and it's a very simple EMA cross. It's just the basics. I'm using the 9 and the 21. For the source, oh, actually, hold on. I meant to change this. There we go. I had it changed on my other chart. So, so I'm using the source I use is high plus low plus close divided by 3. That's just one I learned to use a long time ago from some guys that work on the NYSE floor. No, platinum could still be a good short, Zoe. It's in a narrow range. You know what I mean? It's in a narrow range. It's in a higher narrow range, and we opened under. If it wasn't valid, my system won't call it. Right? So I don't know if you're using the CAM system, the pivot plays indicator. Throw me some thumbs up, people. I love you. If you are using it, if it's calling it and it says it's approaching, it's valid and you should consider it. right? And I don't say take it. Like one thing I don't like right now is our volume is insanely indecisive right now, right? But that's platinum. Platinum really doesn't trade with a lot of volume. So for platinum, I would really just more focus on the levels, right? Oh, cool, Tia. Good to see you. Oh, that's awesome. So glad. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. You're awesome. I gotta like get this so like it's easier. There we go. I know I need some unification here, Tia. Can we get aligned here? I do think also, by the way, Tia, that it is oh, Steve. Yeah, I do agree, Tia, on with platinum. One thing I really like about platinum is that even though the market has been rallying its butt off, platinum has stayed in place, right? Like platinum could have totally made like a major reversal right now, right? Like because the whole market's been ripping, right? So why not platinum? Platinum's staying, right? Almost like it's waiting, right, for the market to so maybe like right when the market gets up near, I mean, it's probably waiting for us to get a big sell signal in the market. Like whoever institutionally is likely on platinum right now, they're probably just watching the market right now, waiting for the market to top and throw a big sell signal. And then they'll probably do like a big distribution. They'll throw a lot of market sells in, and then things will kick off. Right. So as long as it stays here and doesn't blow through the fourth level, if it goes back inside the range, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Right now I'm gonna go out if it comes back through the CP as of right now. I do grant myself permission that I am close enough to my target. I mean, I would like for instance, if this came and like had a moving average cross here, I mean, we really should not go back inside of pre-market high. We offered it here and then we bought it, tested it, and bought off of it. So, I mean, we really should not come through pre-market high in CP. The issue I have is with futures, but I really just found this with trading in general. My cam levels are, and it's one of the reasons I changed them from R's and S's to H's and L's, because I don't want you to see H3 as a resistance. I want you to see it as as a floor. Like imagine walking up a staircase, right? If you get above H3, that you've gotten above a floor. You know what I mean? And so you should be thinking more about walking up to the next floor, right? So right now, because we've come from L3 and we've stepped above the CP, and now we bought above pre-market high. We're climbing stairs up right now, right? So I don't want a lot of people, when you get high like this, you immediately start thinking, oh, I need to sell or I need to take profit. But what you don't realize is in the market, the higher you go, the higher you can go, right? Like most sells will occur as a response to some kind of selling. And right now the market is fairly optimistic news-wise, and we're making new all-time highs. Right. So what I don't want to do is be too sensitive to just a little downward price movement and then not get my big move. Right. So for me, I want to capture, I'm always going to give every trade I take a chance to make the big move. You know what I mean? And that means I'm going to have some trades where I get maybe only like an R&a-half or 2 R's. Right. But when the trade that I take works, it's gonna go all day long. Like it's gonna be beautiful. You know, I mean, we've had lots of cam calls. Let me pull up IREN. We've had lots of cam calls recently. Like the one that GP, are you still in here, buddy? The one that ooh, look at Platinum. What a jerk. Oh, this thing's such a sell. GP had a beautiful trade on Taiwan Semiconductor, I believe it was yesterday. And I mean, that ticker went long for that breakout, and that thing just went. If you want to see that trade, I actually shared it on my X. It was so beautiful. So it's you know, I mean, I've hit lots of good trades. I mean, so I think we had a 1 or 2 weeks where they were a little stale, but over a week ago, probably about a week and a day ago, they all started hitting really hard again. So we've had, because I can look at the statistics, because I can see every call that's called across all of our cams we're watching. So you can kind of see how it went out for a couple weeks, and I don't think anybody's system was working for a couple weeks. Like, that crap was crazy. All right, come on in queue. Look at this. Look at this rudeness. Look what it did here. They came down. They closed on the 9. They then closed just. So I want to talk a little bit about using EMAs. What do y'all think? Good idea? I want to teach you all how to properly use moving averages, because most of the people who teach them wrong. And I haven't really been able to explain this, because if I had explained it, then the people who were using them where I was would probably not like that I was saying that they were reading moving averages wrong. So what's really important when you're reading moving averages is you don't use the wicks, you use the bodies. Who didn't know that? Give me a number one if you didn't know that, if you use the wicks. Who all thought that you watch the wicks, not the bodies? Give me a number one. It's okay. Like, I wouldn't do this. I would do this too, right? But if you read like fundamental analysis from like 1970s, 80s, I mean, all of the stuff, you think the wick is what's important. It's not. It's the body. So, and this is why. Look what happens right here. We close on the 9. We then close above the 20. We then offer down and close on the 20. We then open and immediately squeeze up. The wick is what will get you every single time, because it's the body that's important, right? So you never really want to make a reaction. Like, if you wanted to stop out, I would wait for this candle to close red under the 20 and then make a new low. But if you're going to play a reversal, keep that in mind too, right? But as you're starting to learn, but look here, we closed under it, we closed low, and then immediately opened and bought above, right? You can see we were never even near a 20, but this is an important part. A lot of people, when you use those, will use you'll use the wick, and you will get stopped out a lot, because the wicks they're very, I don't have like direct evidence that there's obviously like some like entity out there that's like, we are going to use a wick, you know what I mean? But hold on 1 second, I gotta check something. Excellent. Want to say thank you for changing my life. I've only taken 2 trades this week, and I am green for. Wow, Invo, thank you so much, dude. I'm so happy to hear that. You're amazing. I'm so happy to hear that the indicator is working that well for you, and everybody. That's why I built it. Like, imagine an indicator that you're paying $100 a month for. Right, you just in just a couple of trades made enough money to pay for that indicator indefinitely. Yeah, I mean, not indefinitely, but like a year, 10 months, a year into the future. I mean, I mean, but that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was really cool of you. Thank you. I'm glad it's working so well for you. Yeah, I don't have so this is a little concerning for just the moment, right? But don't forget, one that I should put back on. I actually really have been getting back into using some fundamental analysis just to kind of help me, stay focused on the actual trades themselves and not just like, staying with it. So right now, like everything is just full on upsloping right now. Like, but we are losing momentum, and you can see we are starting to offer into light buying, but we're not selling. So this is the 200 and this is the 50, right? So these, for me, if this gets really weak and loses the 50, I would get pretty concerned, right? But as of right now, where we've been trending so well, and all we've done is hit the 20. I don't see any major like exhaustion volume on the sell side, right? So until things start to read a sell and we get a big hit, I think I'm going to hang on to this thing. But I like the idea of staying in it and just trying to give this thing a chance to see how high it can run. Why not? You know what I mean? If price opens above L6, would it be an invalid reversal? If you sell back under L6 and then it pulls back, Kai, maybe. But it wouldn't be my favorite. I'd prefer it to open under and then offer to it. Trend lines are a little more complicated, Keto. I'm going to have Dr. V on next month. And I want to talk to you all a little bit about that. We were talking this week, and Dr. V, which I'm very excited about, next month is going to start doing Brains Days on Wednesdays. And then we are also talking about, depending on how much love y'all give me and give her, we were thinking about having her do like maybe once a month, doing a technical, like an AMA technical style thing where she'll explain her indicate like the way she does her stuff, and the way she does her trend lines and her higher time frame stuff. Because right now the only way to get to that is to come inside of Alchemist and hang out with her every morning, which is what we do because we're spoiled. But we're, we also have a new make sure that you like and subscribe and ring the bell on the channel, because we are in the process of editing one of Dr. Vanessa's Introduction to Futures webinars. So that's going to be available to you relatively soon. I'm not entirely sure. Probably early to mid next week, I think we're going to be done with it. So make sure you're ready to rock and roll and ready for that one. Because for any of you who are starting to warm up to futures, but you'd like a little bit more introduction to them before you commit, I think it's going to be a great. Or for anyone who's done them and you just want a good refresh, it's a really good one for you. It's going to be a great one for you. So man, Invo, man, way to go! You're so amazing. Cool. Yeah, that would be great. So we're just hanging out, people. You know what I mean? We're just waiting to see if we made it through all-time high, and we now have started to kind of sell a little bit. But we're I still look at this as light buying. So for the amount of downtick we've had, it has not been aggressive for me or too exaggerated. So it's for me, this just still feels like we're doing a bit of a pullback. Maybe we're gonna come back and give a shot to the 50. They are obviously having a little trouble enticing buyers at this level. So what they're gonna likely do is they're gonna try and trap shorts, right? So they're gonna push up, and they're gonna come off, make a new high of day. Then they're going to come down like this on really light volume, get short sellers to come in retail wise, and then they're going to push up. And when they push up, all the shorts stop out, and that allows them to fuel back up to the high and entice more buyers to buy the reaction. So right now, that's more of what this looks like than a reversal for me, because we haven't exhausted our buyers. Like, we have not had a big exaggerated movement that's put us into heavy buying right now. So for me, I'm still aligned with being long, at least in the volume, and I'm just going to stick with that. So, but just keep an eye, watch, you'll see. I cannot properly comment on how much time I have spent talking to market makers, researching, reading the market, watching charts, putting in real work to figure out how the process works, and how they entice and move price up and down through these. So one of the of all the things I'm hoping you'll come back to this channel for, even beyond my indicators, which are amazing, and me, teaching you how to trade, is actually just to take advantage of my, the amount of times I've been kicked in the teeth by the market, right? I'm not good at this because I won a lot. I'm good at this because I lost a lot, right? And I've lost, and most of what I lost because I learned things wrong and backwards, and the information that I learned it from was not as credible as I would have initially thought. So I really had to, that's the reason why I developed my complete day trading system, is because I needed something that properly took advantage of the market, and I could actually make money with it. And like right now, I mean, I only, I did not have to risk a lot of money, like around a K, to get into this trade. No matter what happens, I'm going to make my risk back. But I mean, this is if this runs up and hits my target, this is a beautiful 4-to-1. I'm going to make great money today. So, but either way, I'm making great money today. But have you noticed, like, am I full of anxiety right now? Am I freaked out if this sells and hits my stop? Am I taking position off? Am I adding, what am I doing right now? Right? I'm just doing my thing. All right, we got a little bit of a EMA cross there. Let's see how they close this candle. This should be interesting. And I apologize in a way, because with this trading style, you're probably going to be more bored. You know what I mean? But I assure you, you want the boredom. Watch how this candle closes. This will be interesting. You want the boredom. You want freedom, right? You don't want to be trading all day from your desk. You want to be in one position. Like right now, I could be walking around right now with just my cell phone, and every few minutes, or every 5 minutes or 15 minutes, or I could just put a crossing alert right here, and just say, if it comes back here, it'll just notify me that I'm out of my position. And then I could be hanging out with my babies. I could be hanging out with, a loved one who I care very much about, just living my life. Like I day trade to live. I want to be able to travel and hang out and do things, and go after my hobbies and study cool things. So, and this allows me to do that. So anyway, thank you, 1960. You're awesome. Now this is looking a little weak sauce here. So we kind of bought through all-time high, and now we're coming off of it. So that's pretty interesting. And this is a little bit of a different posture. So we're gonna slam into the 50 here, and I'm really interested to see how we close on this thing. All right, we couldn't close the 50. Let's see the response to that. If they go through it, and if they do, I mean, this might be. We're going to watch the volume. So far, that's the larger volume candle was actually a stuff, but that looks like some real selling right there. I don't know how many points my stop loss is. I don't do it based on points. I do it based on dollar risk. So, like for instance, this one was just below low of day, and I did that because that's would have risked $1,000. Woo! That is some selling. All right. Dang, hold on. Let's look over at PL. I bet PL started, yeah, stinker. Look how close that thing got. Ugh. See what I mean, though? Dia? See how it waited for the market to get into an area where the market wanted to sell, right? And then when the market started selling, it went. You see how you can see how you can see how you can tie those things together. All right, so here's an interesting thing. This is news related. So this just might bust this trade because this is selling based on news, right? But I'm going to still stay right here because we're actually going to overcook our sellers, and we could have a spring here. So, but if this goes through the CP, I'll be out, and we'll just be happy. We'll just take that money. We got to all-time high, but it wasn't a cam level. You know, I don't care that all-time high was here. But look, we went into really heavy selling. I would not be shocked to see this bounce and come back up, because that was really heavy. But we shall see. That's some real news. But let's see the response here now, because now we're back under pre-market high. So if we sell here and lose the CP, I mean, pretty good reason to get out. One way or the other, though, I mean, I'm happy. We're making good money today, like $1,000. Beautiful. All right, this will be kind of the moment of truth right here. So we're dropping here. If we pull back up like this and then move lower, I mean, that's a done deal. I'm out. That's just too much. I can't tolerate more pullback than that. I want to make sure I make like $1,000 or so. I use Financial Juice, actually. So I really like it, and we actually broadcast it into the chat room. But so look here, you can actually see on Financial Juice, the app. Look, 2 red news events here. So you can see it says Israel's Defense Minister Katz, Israel awaits the green light to resume the Iran war. And you know what I'm saying? So the news algos saw that red news and saw that hit, and boom, they completely crushed. You better not come down and hit the 200 and then bounce. It shouldn't come back through the CP. If it comes back through the CP, I'm so done. This is a really fun trade. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, in our chat room in the Discord, we have Financial Juice live brought like sending alerts into the chat room. So like you can go in there and look at it all the time. It's a live feed. I mean, it's got a delay. I mean, it's probably like a 20-second delay or 30-second delay, like everything. Oh, this thing's gonna be so rude. I have a feeling I just can't tolerate more drop than this. I just have this wild feeling that this thing's just gonna come down here and wick. But if it closes under the CP, so again, how I look at this is these are floors and like stairs. So right now we're walking down the stairs. If we walk into this stairwell, I expect to walk down the stairs at this point. So if we're gonna stop moving, it should be right here. If it goes any lower than this, then I'm just gonna take the money. I don't care. It's not worth it now to let it go back into this range and hold, because I'll probably just end up giving back my entire profit there. So, but this is why I picked here. So what I do is as I move up through tiers or pivots, I use those depending on the directional movement as support or areas of resistance. Look at that down tick too, how that flushes like that. It's got really solid down tick. It looks like we're selling. So I don't want to be in this thing, but we did exhaust, but we did not exhaust either. We went heavy. So this thing can still press. Yeah, financial juice helps a lot. Yeah, it's my subscription that I have for Alchemist that broadcasts in there. Look at this thing. I mean, look how important the CP is. They couldn't close below the CP, but they wicked it and wicked it. So this is so important right now. Like the CP has to defend. If we can't close above it, if it closes under it, it's just done. So we definitely crossed our averages and started selling. So we're gonna lose this tier and then I'll be out. But again, still, it's gonna be over $1,000. So I'm very happy. I use my indicator. There's nothing fancy, humorous. I use my indicator, and then I use VPA. When I see like we're having trouble absorbing while we're trying to sell or otherwise. Oh man, can they close under it? Look at they're fighting. They're trying, but they are failing. So this is like our yesterday's close. If they close this candle under it, I would expect it to sell. If not now, because we're having so much trouble. But they need to come on, get up there. Oh well. It looks like we're done. What a great day. All right, yeah, we closed under the CP. We're done. Three, two, one, boom. We're out. Yay. Great trade. Watch this thing bounce like right after I get taken out. No, that's a fun trade. Awesome. I'm so happy with that trade. Thank you, DZ. I appreciate it. So I will not be taking any more trades. That's my trade for the day. Really solid money. I generically only take one trade a day, maybe two if I don't nail my first entry. So what's really, really important, and I'm not really saying one and done necessarily, but what I have found is and this is just with all of the people that I have worked with market alchemists. What I have really like learned is, because I have the benefit of watching stats over and over and over again of all these different people. One of the things that I've really noticed in those stats, right, is that many people, when they win, it's their first trade that ends up being the winner. And if that trade doesn't work and they take multiple trades afterwards, or if that trade does work and they take multiple trades afterwards, they rarely statistically end up making more money for the effort you're putting in. So just kind of, kind of keep that in mind, right? Like if you have a nice trade, I know, especially like you're going to see this bounce here. It's going to hold the CP. If this thing starts running up, it's just going to be one of those things where you go, oh man, I can't believe like I got taken out and it didn't work. I should have just left it on an average. But you end up just you get up getting triggered and you get really emotional. And then you start doing all kinds of things. And then you start saying, like, okay, well, maybe now I'll buy the CP. And then but I don't have a play for buying the CP. So, and we're still underneath the averages right now. So, but if we start buying again, oh, well, but if I got into this thing, as soon as I get into it, this thing would shoot back down and stop me out at this point. So whatevs. I'm so happy. What a great trade. I wouldn't mind getting in on platinum, but it didn't make it to L4. I would have taken a short on platinum as well as being long on NQ if they had been in the same place. That's some crazy selling right there too. Like, so I'm really not into that. But it was heavy. See what I mean about expecting a pullback? So notice how we got heavy on the selling, right? So I expect a pullback here. So the question will be, did we just come down and, tag the 20 basically, or sorry, the 200? That's the funny part, right? Look at the 200, humorous. Look at that. We came look, we could not close below the 200 and then bounced right off of it with volume. I still think we're going to go down with what this looks like here. I think we're going to go down. So I'm very happy with being out of this position, but it's okay. Like I still think we advance lower. Like we cooked up into the buy, but I think we're going to just bring in some buyers, and I think we're going to flush the CP. Like if we were going to go, we should have gone. We made it to all-time high. We broke it, set a new one, and now we're pulling back. But we'll see. But I'm good. I'm so happy. Awesome. Well, everybody, we have a couple minutes left. Any questions or thoughts before we central pivot, AK. It's like previous day's close. Can you please check IREN? Yes. You asked me that earlier and I did not do it. My apologies. Oh, it was beautiful. IREN was beautiful. This is a higher, narrower range trending breakout. It went through H4 right here, pulled back, held the moving averages, got above the level and offered long all the way through our project. The ATR high would have been right there. This is a beautiful call. Wow. Well done. So the advantage that we put the free version out there because we want there to be a version of the cams for everybody. But the advantage of having the paid version, right, is all you have to do in order to get my settings is you just go here, you hit settings, inputs, and you select Thor mode. Right. So Thor mode, anytime I update my settings or make changes, that gets updated on Thor mode. So you always have my settings when you do that. Otherwise, you have to take the time and go through and configure. And if you'd like to do that, maybe tomorrow, I'll be happy to show you my settings and you're welcome to attempt to recreate them. But if you want all the calls and you want to stay up to date on everything all the time, I mean, it's only $100 for the indicator. And as you saw earlier, one of the members mentioned having the indicator for just a couple of days, taking a couple of trades, they've made, over $1,500, right? So once you get in a line with it and get to use it and you start using the calls, I mean, I assure you, you're going to enjoy them. So I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you so much for the likes, the subscribes, hanging out with me. Lots more content coming. I will see you all tomorrow. Keep it green, people. Talk to you soon.